Rishi Sunak has declared he is up for the fight with European courts as he reveals his plan to deport almost all migrants who arrive on small boats.
Well, the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, I'm pleased to say, joins us this morning. A very good morning to you, Home Secretary. Can I start, first of all, by asking you, we've heard from the Prime Minister saying he's up for the fight. He's expecting to get an army of lawyers, legions of lawyers, contesting this, but he is confident of success. And yet I know that you have said that more than a 50% chance that the bill is incompatible with human rights rules. So which is it?
We are very clear that our measures are compliant with international law contained in various conventions and agreements, and that we are bringing these forward in compliance with domestic law. We've issued a statement, Section 19(1)(b) statement, that's Section 19(1)(b) of the Human Rights Act, out of an abundance of caution, because we're testing the boundaries of law. We're leading new international arguments, novel arguments, but we're absolutely confident that our measures ultimately are fundamentally lawful.
OK, and you're testing the boundaries, which means there must be a possibility that you won't succeed. What is your plan B? You must be considering withdrawing from the ECHR then.
Our measures, which have been set out yesterday in our bill, do not envisage withdrawing from the European Convention on Human Rights. What they do is they design a scheme which means that if you arrive here illegally, you'll be detained and then swiftly removed. They dramatically reduce the rights of appeal and challenge available to illegal migrants, and they enable the swifter resolution of matters so that we can swiftly relocate people to countries like Rwanda or back to their home country.
But no, you won't. No, you won't, Home Secretary. You know, I feel very sorry for you in that job, but you're a very committed person. You speak very sincerely. You say all the right things, but we're no different than anyone else. Germany has a huge problem with migrants. France has a huge problem with migrants. It's not going to go away, is it?
Well, I agree with you in the sense that we are facing a global migration crisis. When I've spoken to my counterparts across the European Union, they are largely facing very similar problems of unprecedented numbers of illegal migrants, insufficient accommodation for them in which to house them, and an unsustainable problem. We've seen tragically people die on the Channel in their attempt to get to the United Kingdom. This is a very complex but incredibly serious situation now. It's right that we take necessary, proportionate and compassionate measures to deter people from taking this journey in the first place.
And then to deter you, lawyers, armies of human rights lawyers just queuing up. We talked about the Prime Minister up for the fight, but they're up for the fight as well. And there's a lot of money to be made on this too.
Well, I will point you to our Rwanda partnership. That's world leading, it's groundbreaking. When we first struck that partnership, many people were deriding it as unlawful and inhumane. They were proven wrong last year when the High Court upheld our partnership emphatically in our 100-page judgment. But then
people will be saying, why haven't you sent anyone to Rwanda?
Yeah, confirming that it's lawful and compliant with all of our obligations. We're now going through an appeal process. We'll have an appeal hearing next month. We await the judgment from their lordships, but we have to abide by the court process, by due process. That's what our democracy allows. But once we complete those fair processes,
suppose what I'm saying, Home Secretary, is
to relocate people to Rwanda.
Yeah, look, I really appreciate what you're saying, really appreciate your intentions, but I look at you, I look at the Prime Minister, and I think this will play out well. People will appreciate what you're saying, but nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. It just, I mean, how can it change? How can it?
Well, that's why we've introduced measures yesterday. We're changing our laws. We're going to be changing our laws so that you can't come here and illegitimately claim asylum. We're changing our laws so that you'll be swiftly processed. You'll be swiftly removed from the United Kingdom be able to secure a life in the United Kingdom if you get on a boat and you come here unlawfully. We'll be smashing the people smuggling gangs because they are a root cause of this problem that we're seeing. So holistically, our measures will take us forward in terms of empowering the Home Office, the authorities, to take a more robust but also necessary approach to illegal migration.
We saw the Prime Minister in front of the podium last night with the slogan, "Stop the boats." He staked his reputation on this, one of his big 5 pledges. If he fails, will he quit? And if you fail, will you quit as Home Secretary, if you fail to stop the boats?
As the Prime Minister has made clear, he makes promises that he can deliver, and he's going to deliver the promises that he makes. And I echo that sentiment. He made stopping the boats one of his top 5 priorities, and we are making that promise because we believe we've got a good plan. We're already seeing some progress. We're already making progress on bearing down on our asylum backlog. We'll be bringing forward new asylum accommodation. We have already got an agreement with France and with Albania, and we're effecting relocations to Albania. We're going to France at the end of this week to enhance our cooperation. So we're already seeing progress since December. I'm confident that we can build on that progress and get to where we need to be on this issue.
But meanwhile, we've got, I don't know how many, maybe you'll tell me, thousands of migrants who are already here in the country. And they're put up in hotels, and a lot of people in communities are very, very worried about the concentration of people in their communities. What is going to happen to those people, and how long would that take to solve the backlog, if at all?
Well, like many of your viewers, I too am very frustrated and indeed worried about the thousands of people who are accommodated in hotels around towns and cities in the United Kingdom. And I understand that that places undue pressure on local resources, undue tensions within communities. It's an unsustainable situation. So that's why we need to take these measures. Our bill will apply retrospectively so that anybody who arrives from the date of introduction of our bill, i.e. yesterday, they will be caught by our new laws when they become effective later this year. But it's clear that we need to ensure that we can operationalise our partnership with Rwanda. Once we complete the process in the courts, I'm confident we will be able to relocate people to Rwanda, a safe country, a country that is supporting us through our partnership, and one with whom we are proud to work.
Home Secretary, there will be people who agree that there are people playing the system and want to see this dealt with, but are also very concerned that you could be criminalising people who are genuinely traumatised and fleeing horrendous circumstances. You'll have heard the criticisms from the UN refugee agency saying they are profoundly concerned that they are extinguishing the right to seek refugee protection here in the United Kingdom. May I ask you, if somebody today is trying to get into this country from Syria, how can they do that?
Well, I mean, there are 2 points here. I mean, our measures that we've introduced yesterday will also make provision for new safe and legal routes. So
today, if they were trying to get here from Syria,
persecution or conflict, I just want to make clear that our measures are not cruel. Our measures are humanitarian at core, because we will be providing for people who want to seek humanitarian protection. As of today, well, we've just recently taken in almost 500,000 people through humanitarian routes, whether it's Ukrainians, people from Hong Kong, Syrians, people from Afghanistan. For those very humanitarian reasons, we also work with the UNHCR so that people can apply for protection in the United Kingdom.
So just to be clear, there is no way somebody from Syria today could legally seek refugee status here in the UK?
Well, we've already welcomed thousands of people from Syria in recent years because
who've arrived here illegally,
conflict and the troubles there. Many of them have come here through lawful routes. Many of the people from Afghanistan have come here through lawful routes. That's the point of our measures. We want to stop people jumping the queue. We want to stop people paying the criminal gangs. We want to stop people who are not here for humanitarian protection, but are coming for economic migration reasons to avoid the route on the Channel. Getting on a flimsy dinghy, wearing a polystyrene life jacket, risking your life in the busiest maritime route in the world is not a lawful or appropriate or safe way to get to the United Kingdom. There are many other ways, and we encourage people to use those routes.
Just final question, Home Secretary. Have you risked your political reputation? Has the Prime Minister risked his political reputation on this? I mean, when it comes to your in-tray, where does this sit as regards problems in the Home Office? How important is it to you personally and professionally to solve this?
Listen, it's my top priority. There's no two ways about it, and I have worked very hard with the Prime Minister to get our bill in shape for introduction. We'll now go through the parliamentary process, but it's clear that the vast majority of the British people also see this as a very, very worrying situation. They want the government to take the robust steps to fix it. That's why the Prime Minister made it one of his top 5 priorities. He cares about this, I care about it, the Conservative government cares about it. We're going to fix it.
Just a really quick word on Gary Lineker. Should he face penalties from the BBC for expressing political views on this?
Well, I'm disappointed about Gary Lineker's attempt to somehow equate my bill with 1930s Germany. I don't think that comparison is fair or appropriate. But what I believe is that I've won the moral argument already. I believe that this is what the British people want. I believe that they want us to take a firm but fair approach in relation to illegal migration. They want to stop the boats. They want to stop the abuse of our laws. The British people want to stop £6 million worth of their money being spent every day on hotel accommodation. They want to stop the expenditure of £3 billion a year on this asylum issue. We need to ensure that we have the right powers and indeed the duties, which is what this bill will introduce, to make sure that if you arrive here illegally, you'll be detained and swiftly removed.
Thank you, Suella Braverman. Thank you for your time this morning. Appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed.
Well, we can talk now to the assistant editor.
Wait a minute.
You want a little conflab?
So that bit about Gary Lineker facing penalties,
that was a deliberate football pun.
That's okay.
Were you impressed?
I was impressed.
Yeah, thank you.
I just wanted to know. It was very well worked in.
Thanks.
Well worked in.
Oh, thank you.
Right, anyway.